welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Lori. I am the maker behind Stitch and Moan. I specialize in cute and creepy crochet plushies. If you are a returning friend, thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me. A little bit of housekeeping really quick. I actually deleted my vlog from last week because I know the audio was like really subpar and I started losing subscribers. I don't know if it was because of that or if it's just because, you know, I myself am so off-putting, but I thought it wasn't my best work and I wasn't really all that jazzed with having it up there anyway, so I deleted it. Sorry if you tried watching it and the audio was so terrible that you were like, I cannot stand this woman anymore. Hopefully from now on, we'll get it figured out. I'm recording in the afternoon. I have my door closed. Hopefully I won't have 1,000 interruptions, but we'll see. But anyway, sorry about last week's video. I know it was terrible. Hopefully from now on, we'll figure it out. I'm not ready to invest in a microphone, but I don't know, we'll see. I did buy one from Amazon a while back and it was terrible. It was like, it made it sound worse, if that's even possible, if you can believe that. This week's video was like a complete out of nowhere kind of thing because I was kind of like not really knowing what to do, and I was going to talk about, you know, like working on my room and doing some different things and just kind of slower summer pace. But as you will learn here in a minute, I decided to do a market, and that's what this vlog this week is going to be about. But I wanted to pop in, record this intro, and just kind of say sorry about last week's vlog. Did I say I was sorry about last week's vlog? Because I really am. But anyway, so now I'm going to throw it back to last week. Yeah, last week when I started this whole thing. So enjoy.
Hello friends, it's Wednesday morning. I decided 20 minutes ago that I'm going to do a show on Sunday. It's about an hour and a half away, not that big of a deal. It's the reptile show that I have done twice now. It was my first market, and then I did it again in September of last year. So they texted me last night and asked if I was interested in a table. They text me right before every show to see if I want to come, which I just love. The organizers of this event are awesome. And originally I said no, and then I've thought about it since they texted me last night. It was like 7 o'clock and I could not get it out of my head. So I decided, you know what? Let's do it. It's inside. It's only $40. I have plenty of inventory. And I think I have enough whips where I can whip up a few things to take reptile related. I'm working on toads, so maybe I can get some of those. It's just some small things, and I have a bearded dragon in the works that for some reason I just keep avoiding. I don't like making its toes, and I think that's what the hold up is. I don't want to do the toes, which they take like 10 minutes total, so it's kind of ridiculous. But since this is, you know, like I said, it's Wednesday, the show is on Sunday from 10 to 4 in Bowling Green. I have some stuff to do, so, and honestly, that has given me the little jolt that I need. So we're gonna do some last minute market prepping.
Hey guys, I'm back. So today's Saturday, and like I said in my last clip, which was on Wednesday, I'm doing a market on Sunday. As you know, time has now passed and that market is now tomorrow. I wanted to film a little bit every day. That did not happen for multiple reasons. We had a lot going on, just, you know, different summertime things that we need to do. And then on Thursday I had a migraine again. and it was a very bad one. It started Wednesday night. I took some migraine pills because I thought, okay, I'm aware of it. Normally I wake up with them. This time it started Wednesday night, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get ahead of this. So I took 2 Excedrin migraines, and the caffeine in them kept me awake all night. So Thursday I had full-on migraine. It did not go away. Plus I was exhausted because I didn't sleep. So that was fun. We had a great day on Thursday. And then yesterday, I took my son to see the Mandalorian movie again and just kind of hung out. But I did get some things made. Surprising. I was very determined to have some smaller things. Like I said, I wasn't even going to do this market. They texted me and asked me, and I said, no, I can't. Pretty much because I didn't think I had enough inventory. But Wednesday morning, I sat down and I looked at the 2 huge totes of plushies that I was about to put on Etsy, and I was like, God, I really don't want to have to go through all of those and make listings and photograph and everything. And I'm like, you know what? You have plenty. Go do the show. So I texted them back and asked if they had a table, and they said yes. So that's where we are with that. So I decided to make a few smaller things, but of course I made another one of these. I promise I'll stop talking about them. But I made this bearded dragon from Crochet from Mars. We know that. I made him, and I have pieces to make another one, but I don't know if I have it in me to do it today. I think I have to be done with the bearded dragon for a while. But I made him yesterday, finished him. Actually, I finished him today. Got him, and then I have a bigger one. So this is with, you know, that Bernat 6.5mm hook. The other one's with an 8, so he's a little bit bigger. And then I made 4 of Ted the Thick Toad, but I don't do the little booty on him. I actually take out 2 stitches to make it not as big, but I think he's so cute. And this is which I have right here, the Demi Pearl in like that moss color. I love this yarn. So I've got 4. I need to stuff the last one, but I'm almost out of stuffing. I actually had to take apart a few older plushies that I don't plan on finishing just to get the stuffing. So yeah. And then, because I've never made this before, I made one of Jenna's axolotls. This is a reptile show. They actually sell an exotic pet expo. So they actually sell these like actual real axolotls there. So it makes sense. But I wanted just a few small ones. So I made 2 pink ones, and then I made 1 blue one. And both of these are 6.5mm. The body is Sweet Snuggles Light for both of them. And then this blue is Bernat. And then this pink is that Cozy Occasion from Hobby Lobby. And then I feel like there was more than just this, but the last thing I made, and I was influenced by my dear sweet friend Allie from Allie McKenzie Crafts. She always shows her little mushroom guys, and I think they're so cute. But I don't know that mushrooms are really like my vibe. But because I want to start having cryptids at my table, I want to do like a cryptid corner. I want to have like this little haunted forest kind of area before you get to the cryptids. So I thought, how about doing poison mushrooms? I was gonna call them magic mushrooms, but then I realized I couldn't do that for other reasons. So I made poison mushrooms, and I just used yarn scraps because it takes like no yarn. This is the Red Mills crochet free pattern for the flower baby, but like Allie, I just switched it up a little bit and did some embroidery on the top. So I've got this in that like kind of aqua green, and then I've got the same Cozy Occasion pink, and then these little dots are lime green and glow in the dark, and then this one's my favorite one. I hope he doesn't sell, but usually when I have anything purple, they sell out immediately. So this is the Bernat. I think it's like plum purple, or I can't remember the name of it. But this was all I had left. Like, I have none of it left. And then I did pink for the dots. I wish I would have made his body gray, because I think that would have been really cool, really funny for like a poison mushroom. And I also wanted to do, but I couldn't get it to do right, I wanted to do like a little smirky half smile or something, just, you know, very cheeky. I couldn't get it to work. So I love him. I think he's so cute. So yeah, that is just something small. I've got 2 of the pink ones, and I will have 2 of the aqua color ones. And I might make a few more of those tonight. I'm not sure. Just, you know, while I'm watching soccer. I'm not sure. Like I said, I still have to stuff one more toad. It's trying to rain right now, and I've got birds seeking refuge on my windowsill out here. And I also just got my summer hair chop. So it's, I'm getting distracted by it because it's like super short. But anyway, so that's where we are with the makes. And now I've got my handy dandy notebook to see what else I have left. I made this list this morning at 6 a.m. when I got up. I've got my square charging. I'm not going to be making any more bearded dragons tonight. I need to stuff the toad. I doubt I'll make another one. I have 4. That should be plenty. Finish both bearded dragons. I'm going to finish 1 to 2 more axolotls. I think 3 is going to be enough. Details on the voodoo dolls. I might just take my cotton yarn and do that tomorrow. I'm not sure, because I do have other voodoo dolls there. I don't know. So something else I did that I normally don't do, I have signs that I put on my grids, just like on the back for the bigger items. I went ahead and just tagged the bigger items, so they have an individual price tag now. So that was on my list, tag larger items. I can cross that off. Check my signs that I was just talking about to see if I need to redo any of them. I did that. Buy lunch and snacks. I did that. Put all of my inventory into Square. I did that this morning. Make inventory sheet and go through the inventory. I did that downstairs earlier. I just took all of my plushies downstairs with me and spread out on our dining room table, tagged, and reworked a couple of the signs. So, charge all devices. Almost, I'm gonna cross that off because I will have my iPad and my phone charged overnight. My Square is doing its thing right now. Finish last few items. Stuff the toad. I will do that here in a few minutes. And I might go ahead and make a few more mushrooms. I'd like to. Just see what colors I have that look kind of, I don't want to say psychedelic, but I googled poison, like I think it was like cartoon poison mushroom, just to see like some colors, and they're like pinks and purples and neon colors, which I don't really have a whole lot of. So I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know if I want to use the red for the bearded dragon for one. I don't know if that could be cool or not. That yarn's so thick. So I might do a couple more of those tonight. I'm not sure. So, and I also need to get my market bag ready. My market bag is where I put all of my tagging stuff. I bring extra tags. I make my own. I just use a safety pin and a hole punch and some black cardstock, and then I write on it with like a neon marker. Eventually I would like to get like real tags. I'm changing my logo at some point this year, so that's why I don't have a lot of signage. So anyway, my market bag, I'll have all of my tagging stuff, my sign, my coffin letterboard thingy, and my lights, all that good stuff. It's like raining on and off, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get loaded tonight. But here's the good thing. Like I've said, I've done this market before, so I know what to expect with everything. And it's, I hope this is not distracting. It's kind of like in your eye, the aisles, they're very long, like U shape. And then there's this piece in the center, like a spot in the center where you go in and all of the tables are right up against each other. So they're all like in a row. I don't need my grid walls. I don't need like any extra tables out front or anything. 8-foot table that they provide, so I don't have to take my table. They provide 2 chairs, comfortable convention center chairs, so I don't have to take mine. So I don't have to, like I said, I don't have to bring my grid walls, my extra like checkout table or any of that. I just have the one 8-foot that they provide. I've already washed my tablecloth finally, so that's good. They'll collect the fee while you're there, so that's another cool thing. You don't have to like worry about Venmoing it. And I'm trying to think of anything else. The one thing I'm not looking forward to, setup is from 7:30 to 9:30, and it's like an hour and a half away ish. I don't know, Sunday morning it might not be that bad, but I'm allowing for an hour and a half of travel. So I'm gonna have to get up pretty early, which I do anyway, but I'm gonna have to leave kind of early. So we'll probably just stop for coffee. So I need to load up, don't have a whole lot. I've got 2 totes and 2 bags of plushies, and I've got my cooler almost ready. Since I'm gonna be completely solo tomorrow, I'm not gonna have any, my husband's not gonna come since it's an hour and a half away, completely on my own. But like I said, I know this venue, I know this event, so I'm completely comfortable with it. What else do I need to do? I do need to print out my inventory sheet. I need to plug my printer in because I've moved it so many times. So we'll get to that eventually too. But I think I'm about there. Items are tagged, everything's in square, my spreadsheet's updated. I have most things made that I want to have made. I've got snacks. I will have to stop and get gas in the morning, but it's like on my way out, so that's not a problem. So I think I'm pretty much ready, I guess. I feel like I'm ready. I'm not like panicking or anything, which normally at this point I would be, but I'm not. Like last few markets I've been oddly calm. I don't know, maybe I'm getting used to it, I don't know. But I think now what I'm gonna do is clean up the big mess that I made downstairs with all of my pricing and figure out what I'm going to do as far as the mushroom situation, because I would like to have some more. I'm using yarn scraps. Did I say I'm using yarn scraps to stuff these, since I've have basically no stuffing left? I think I'm doing $10 on these. I can't remember. I think I'm going to wrap up this part of the video and then go finish up downstairs, pack everything up, and get ready. So I will check back in tomorrow morning when it is market day, and I will stop gesturing with my pen. This is why I don't use a microphone, because can you imagine, like, if I had one, that would just be a disaster. So anyway, okay, I will check back in probably tomorrow morning. All right, good morning. It is market day. I'm all loaded up. It's already hot out here. I did not sleep all that great last night, so that's a bummer, but oh well. So, all right, let's go get gas and get some coffee. Get on the road. Okay, we're here. I just checked in, and it's so funny because every time I come here, the guy like cracks up at my company name.
That's why I did it. All right, so let's get this car unloaded and get in there. It is like they have got the AC cranked up, so I'm like super happy about that because the heat index today is going to be at 104. So, okay, let's go. I didn't know you could like own them, but I don't.
Yeah, I've got 8, 9.
Oh my gosh. Well, you are a cutie, so. Wow. All right. So that was okay. And then this, I was talking to this couple. They do foster cats, and all of their treats go to help their foster stuff. So, and then they also have babies. So yeah, if you've never been to a reptile show, this is what is here.
You taking a video of the expo?
Yeah. Okay, and this lady, oh my god, she always has like 1,000 tables, and she does this by herself. I mean, well, she's got her dog with her, but this is so much. And I just tripped over something, but that's okay. And of course, yeah. And then snakes, of course. And reptile accoutrements. Oh, cool. And I'm not going over there because, oh, there's my crochet friend. She moved. Excuse me. So this is my crochet friend. She was like the sweetest lady. She was at my first event also, and she kept checking on me to make sure I was okay. She's the sweetest. She was down the aisle from me, but she moved. And we've got some stuffies and slither and trace. So obviously this color scheme's got me. Okay. All right, what's this? Sorry. Oh my God. Her name is Luna. Wow. Okay. We're gonna have to come back and visit Luna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I should probably get back to my booth, but okay. Anyway. Okay, so I made my first sale and I sold the pink voodoo doll snuggler. And I have my last Jason plushie here, and a gal is very interested in him, so he might be going home today. My last one, so I probably need to make some more of him. But anyway, it kind of got off to a slow start, but it's starting to, like, I don't know if you can hear it, like it's picking up. So, and I feel like a major dork sitting here talking to myself because I just do. I don't know. And I'm sitting here talking to myself. So anyway. Okay. There is, like I said, there is one other crocheter here, but she is like the sweetest, and we have completely different things. So, alrighty. I'll check back in later on. Okay. It's noon, and we just had like a major rush, and I sold, let's see, like 2 mice and 2 rats, like back to back. And I sold my last Jason, so I need to make some more of those. I sold one of my poison mushrooms and my little pink zombie that I've had forever. What else? God, I don't even remember. Oh wait, I sold a scorpion. And that's where we are right now. So I've got like more than 100 in right now, and the other crocheter just came over and said that she has sold $5. So hope she has a better day. All right, vendor cam. Okay, 2 o'clock check-in. It's almost 2. I've sold almost all of my snugglers. This guy jumped down earlier.
Well, I can take her out and put her in here.
Let's see. I sold a crow. And I've sold 2 of my mushrooms. I sold an axolotl, the pink one. And a whole bunch of mice and rats, of course. And I sold my Jason. I think I already said that, though. So, we're doing okay. It's all right. Pretty good crowd. Lots of people stopping and talking and everything. So, I have some awesome neighbors on both sides. I'm trying not to, like, actually show the snakes. So, just to not, like, freak people out, but yeah, anyway, so I will check back in later. Okay, 3 o'clock check-in. I don't know how many more of these I'll have, but look, I sold my unicorns and snuggle beads. Thankfully, it was to another vendor, and she was very excited about it. Like, she was snuggling it. It was super cute. But as far as that, I think that's about it right now.
I see it.
Okay. But I'm kind of over it right now, so I'm very ready to come home. But anyway, I'll check back in later. All right, the expo is over. This is a really cool place. I like vending here. Most people have already finished packing up. And then there's my big mess right there in the middle. I'm taking my time because I'm not really excited to drive back to Nashville. So anyway, but here is my mess. I went ahead and took out my market bag and a tote full of displays, but this is what I have left. So now I'm gonna pack this up and go to Michael's. This wagon is the best, although I will say when I walked in I had it loaded up way bigger, or way more than this, and I spilled it in the parking lot. All right, and happy Monday. It is now the day after the market. I have gone through all of my numbers, and I did better than I thought I did. It was a very slow market. Let's see, I overheard someone say the organizer said that normally they have close to 2,000 people coming through, and yesterday it was only about 700. So that's a huge dip, you know, from what it usually is. But like I said, when I got there, the heat index was supposed to be in the hundreds, and it was just very, very hot. So I don't blame people at all for not wanting to go out. However, that convention center was chilly. It was like brisk. It felt really good in there all day. I did not get hot. Even when I was going, you know, around the tables to get set up, it was still very comfortable. So that was very nice. So now we're gonna do our little recap portion. I'm gonna try to put the picture up
But if it's something that I've already talked about in this video, like my mushrooms, I'm not going to do the picture. I'll just say, you know, the mushrooms that I showed you like 20 minutes ago, you know, because those aren't on here. Okay, so like I said in the video, the first thing I sold was my pink voodoo doll snuggler. This is Hexley, the voodoo doll from Loops with Lauren. I only have one left. I sold 2 of these yesterday. Spoiler alert, I did sell another one. I sold the pink one and the almond color one, the original almond, the lighter color. So I sold both of those for $22 each. And then I sold a mouse, and then the girl came back and bought another mouse. So 2 mice. And then I sold one of my smaller scorpions that was made in Posh. The mouse was from a website called Yarny Box, but she doesn't have her website up anymore. I saved the pattern, and I'm glad because I really like it. The scorpion is one of the patterns from Dee Dee's Plushies, and I did that in Posh, so it's a little smaller. The mice I sell for 10, and the scorpion I also sold for 10 because he's small. I sold 2 of the Dumbo rats, and this is for a new pattern that I'm trying from Lavender Balm, I think is what it is. I used a free pattern from her. It was a free YouTube pattern, I do believe, and that's what I did. And I sold those. I have them at $12 a piece, but she bought 2 because her husband said that they had to come in pairs. So I just charged them $22 instead of $24. And then I sold the teal, like the aqua color mushroom, and my pink zombie that I've had for a long time. This was also another Yarny Box pattern. This is one of the first patterns I ever saw from her. I've done a lot of them, and I really like them all. But this one, this is the last one I have. I probably won't do this one anymore. I did it in pink Sweet Snuggles Light. Had it forever, and I had $20 on it and $8 on the little mushrooms, so that was a transaction of $28. And then I sold my last Jason, like I said in the video, and he was $35. I only sold one of the axolotls that I made from Jenna, and I had it at $15. I sold the pink one. And then the purple poison mushroom that I loved, that I talked about, that I said I hope I didn't sell, I actually sold that to one of the daughters of my neighbor vendor. And if anyone got it, I'm glad that she did. Purple hair, Art Clown backpack, she was my people. So I'm glad it went to her. And I do 10% discount for vendors, so I just gave it to her for $7. And let's see, I sold a crow for $15. I sold the skull, the little bonus skull from Handmade by Nickel that comes with the baby groom pattern. I talked about it before. I sold one of these for $8. I'm gonna have a ton of these at all of my shows from now on. I love them. People loved them too, but I only sold one of them. I had 4. And then another big sale was, like I said, my unicorn. I sold my unicorn from Snuggle Beans. And I told her, you know, she said something about she loved the colors. It was like the purple and the gray and the blue. And I said, I made that for 9-year-old me. When I was younger, I was obsessed with unicorns. I loved the color purple. And I just used yarn and colors, the eyes, everything, for what I would have loved when I was a kid. And she actually had a book about a hedgehog that she wrote, and she was like, this is me healing my inner child, and this is you, you know, honoring your inner child, so I have to have this. So that was like kind of a cool moment. She got it. So I know he's gonna be very well taken care of. And she had the coolest glasses on. They were like really thick and checkerboard and just very cool. And then the biggest sale of the day, which was also my last sale, which was at like 3:30, I sold my Wednesday. Wednesday went home. And I know I can say this because she's not allowed to watch YouTube, but this went to my vendor neighbor's other daughter. There's 3 daughters with them. sweetest girls in the world. Loved being their neighbor. They were just the sweetest girls. They kept me company all day because I was there by myself. They'd watch my booth when I went to the bathroom or had to, you know, walk away for whatever. But they were really, really sweet. And when I set her up, I put Wednesday up on my display, the little girl was like, "Oh, is that Wednesday?" And she was just so in love with her. She wanted to hold her. And she was like petting on her and just loving her and being so gentle with her. And you could just see it. And she kept saying, "I hope she doesn't sell." And she would say, "I hope, I hope that doesn't make you mad, but I hope it doesn't sell." And I'm like, I understand. And I even told her older sister, I was like, if I sell her today, I'm going to be so upset, like, to anyone other than her. And they would, walk around. And as the vendors were starting to pack up, the little girl walked away and the mom's like, "Here." And she handed me $50. That's what she would have been with the vendor discount. She's like, "Here." And I wrapped her up in some bags that you couldn't tell. And a long time ago, I did a pattern test for Thing, and he was like kind of small. And the little girl had asked if I ever made him. And I'm like, yeah, look, she loved him. And she was playing with him, and he was like all dancing around and everything. And she's like, "You should make him some bracelets." And I threw Thing in with Wednesday because I felt like they had to go together. We had Wednesday standing up, and then the little girl put Thing on her shoulder. Like that's gonna help her sell. So I threw Thing in with her. I had to. Like, she loved Wednesday so much, and it made me so happy because this is the pattern from Madeline Mako. I was in her Patreon a long time ago, and that's how I got the pattern. And not even the color changes on her stockings, but I used Bernat, so she turned out bigger. But the hair and the dress, it didn't take like a way long time, but I did have 55 on her because it did take a lot of work. And I'm so glad that it went to her, and that even though it was a surprise and I couldn't see like her reaction, I hope she loves it. So, but anyway, that was my last sale of the day, and that was at 3:30. I wrote them down, and you can see that it doesn't even do like a whole page. And I flipped back to the one I did in September, and this that's my September market at the reptile show. So you can definitely tell this was a lot different. From usually 11 to 1, it's pretty busy, and that's where the bulk of the sales come in. And I didn't have hardly nearly as many as I did last time, but it was still a great show. Total, everything, and I'm not taking out taxes or breaking it down any further than this, but the total sold was $290. And for some reason I had it in my head that it was only $200, so I was like kind of bummed when I got home. But this morning I did actual like grown-up math and did it like not in my head, and saw that it was $290. And then the booth fee is $40. So take that out, I made $250. Also want to throw in, I did not buy anything to prep for this market. I did not have to buy yarn. I didn't buy patterns. I didn't buy stuffing. So I went into this with my existing inventory, and I used scraps to stuff those little mushrooms. I used yarn I already had for anything that I felt like I needed. I did not sell any of my toads. So I was kind of bummed about that, but that's fine. I only sold 2 rats and 2 mice, and I think if I had more with different colors, they would have sold more. And I'm actually thinking about making that rat a little bit bigger. I just now decided that, because they are sort of similar in size, because the mice are a little bit bigger. I think I need to make the rats a little bit bigger. Just, more of like an actual rat size. And I'm holding my hand up like that means anything to anybody. But anyway, I'm pleased with how that turned out. Considering I wasn't even going to do it, I made $250 that I didn't have. And then after the market, I went to Michael's and used every coupon I had. For some reason, I had like a $15 off voucher. I don't know how I got that, but it expired, or it will expire in July sometime. So I wanted to go ahead and use that. And I needed some stuffing, but I wanted to get a box. I didn't want to have it shipped. I didn't want to go into Nashville to buy it. So I thought, you know what? I'm right around the corner from Michael's. I'm just going to run in there and get it. Right now, and I don't know how long this is going to last, but the stuffing is 25% off. It was $25. 15% teacher discount that I always use for homeschool. And then my my $15 voucher, I paid 99 cents for this box, like the big 5-pound box of stuffing. So I'm set on stuffing. I'm very happy. We're good. It turned out to be a good day. Had great neighbors, talked to a lot of fun people. People are always so excited to come to my booth and look around and see things. Like this one girl, she was a younger girl. She's like, I saw the voodoo doll first, and then I saw the skulls, and then I saw the cauldrons. And she's like, everything just kept getting creepier, and I loved it. So it's nice that audience has somebody, because I know growing up when I was like that, because I've always been like this, and not to use like modern terminology, which I hate, but everyone likes to feel seen. And I don't know, just having things like that there that you know, us creepy people can get excited about. It just makes me so happy when someone sees my booth and then it starts to register and you can like see them get all excited. You know, and then we can have a little chat about stuff. So it was fun. It was a good day. Plus it was inside. Can't ask for anything better. I don't know if I'm going to do the one in September. We'll see. But, you know, I do at least want to do at least 1 or 2 of these a year. They're fun. The organizers are great. They're great people. But with that is all for right now, I guess. I'm trying to keep this on track so I can have it posted for Wednesday. Try to get back on a good schedule and all that good stuff. I'm gonna start working on prepping for my fall markets. I need to get my lists going. I need to check and see if the September one that I did last year is gonna happen and when they're gonna start taking registration for that. And then just keep my fingers crossed about the one in November. I don't know. And then I've got the one in October that I've already booked, and that one's going to be a big one. And that one's called Monsters and Merriment. We will get into that one later on. But they posted something the other day. It was like 105 days until our market, and I was like, oh crap! I need to get to work. I need my lists going for what I'm going to have for each of them, because they're all going to differ slightly, and just try to get my thoughts together and get this room together, because it's amazing how messy it can get when you're making stuff on a deadline. So thank you if you stuck around for my antics. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this one was better. I know it was way more exciting than my last one. Again, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me, seeing what we got into for a last minute market. That was fun. And I hope you come back next week and see what we're into, and maybe we can work on this. Like, I don't hate it, like, but I have stuff that I'm still trying to find out in my garage. So I will see you all next week.